Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Lisa Long. I'm the Customer Service and Account Manager at Iowa Land Records. I'm excited that you were able to join us today. We will work through all kinds of things about e-submission, and then we will talk a little bit about search because I know some people had questions about that. So I invite you to put any questions or comments that you have in the chat pod, and members of our team, Samantha McMahon, Corey Strasser, and Kristen Delaney Cole are backing me up today. So you have almost all of us, which is pretty exciting. We are based in Johnston. We are, I always say, a small but mighty team, led by our project manager, Phil Dunchey. We currently have two full-time developers. They're both based in the Des Moines Metro, but work remote. So we do see them and talk to them regularly, but they're not in the office. And then the people that I mentioned, Kristen, Corey, Samantha, and myself, we make up what we call the admin team, and we're based in Johnston. And we're happy that you were able to join us. So let's get started. Here's a couple fun facts about Iowa Land Records. One, that last year, over 67% of all documents recorded in Iowa were recorded electronically through e-submission. Two, on the search side, there's over 24 million documents out there that are searchable. There is a cost, of course, associated with e-submission, but searching is free. And we have somewhere over, oh, I should know this number, 12,000 users, I believe. We recently did an annual report, and you can find that on our website if you want to read all about us. And all 99 of Iowa counties do participate. At one time in the past, there were about 200 counties that were recording electronically, and 99 of those were in Iowa. Today, that number is over 2,000 as electronic recording continues to grow. So let's talk about Iowa Land Records, e-submission, and of course, questions, throw them out there. We'll be happy to assist. And I really do appreciate that you've taken time to join us today. So this is what the screen looks like when you log in as a user and e-submission is enabled on your username. You'll see a little message over here about welcome, what today's date is, how you can find help. Call us. If you call our phone number and we are not on the line with another customer, we do answer the phone and provide service. You can also email us at support@claris.com or complete a support request. You can find additional resources here. We'll talk about those over here as well. And then how to register for a webinar. Okay. Once you're logged in, if you wanted to change your password, you would click here, update the password. I'm not going to update it today, but you would put in a combination of at least 14 characters, both upper and lowercase letters, numbers, and any of the special characters that are specified here. And I'm going to go back to the beginning now. I do want to show you one more thing here on change your password. Is if you're using e-submission, if you go into change password down here under attributes, if you click this box here, when you create a group for submission and you enter the first document, on subsequent documents within that group, the party name will already be populated for you, so you only need to type it once, but you can edit that, and I will demonstrate that for you. But I think that's a really nice time saver that came out of some focus groups that we had a couple years ago. Then you have eSearch. I'll show you how to use this after we go through the submission process, but this is where you find electronic documents. So those you have submitted for recording or are already recorded. Then we have the ILR search. So if you need to find an older document, that's where you do that. And we will do that, and I'll move to production to do that. Then we have the admin functions. So there's multiple kinds of users, multiple roles on each account that is set up. And so if you are set up as an admin or an accounting user, you would have access to some of these functions, such as updating the submitter information here. You would not be able to change I'm going to select edit so you can see what you can update. You would not be able to change the name, This account is our internal account number. It's not related to a financial institution. That this submitter that is in our test environment is a bank. That this is our address, our phone number, and an email address that's on there. So I'm going to save that. But I could edit those. Also under submitter, we have update account, and this actually goes back. It's very similar to the change password. And then getting back. Submitter payment information. So if you're an admin, you have access to this so that you can update payment information. Anytime you may change financial institutions, get a new credit card, have a card that is compromised, which is very normal, any of that information. What I don't want you to ever be surprised about is if you come in here and look and select edit, that there's no information saved down here. And it is saved in the background, but it doesn't display, and that's for security purposes. So it is important that you enter payment information before you start creating groups. So if you're a new submitter, you're going to want to follow the instructions that you get in the email. Corey from our team handles the business applications, and she's very thorough in her email about every step that you need to take. And so getting submitter payment information entered is right. Just don't be surprised if you ever go in to look at it, if there's nothing there. And should you decide that you need to make a correction to something here, like an email address or name or something like that, you are required to enter all of the payment information again. Failing to do that results in a failed payment, and then we would follow up with you and ask you for to enter that information. As an admin, you have access to other users. So you can add more users here if you wanted to. Add all the information and a temporary password. You would not receive an email telling you that a new user had been added. The new user is not going to receive an email telling them anything. What you're going to do as the admin is provide them with their username and password. They should log in before the end of the day and update their password, and then they'll be good to go. And the status will switch from pending to active. As an admin, you can delete someone if you need to. We're not going to delete Myrna because she's one of our developers and we need her to be able to get in here. You can edit their username and their email address, their role, and you can enable search for them. Let's see, what else can you do? And you can also do that e-submission attribute for people. I think that's a really great function that the system has. And one more thing in the admin function, and that's to generate reports of either documents that have been, the group has been deleted, or there's a settlement report. It contains all of the reporting information, and it can be exported to Excel or a CSV file, whatever you need to use. Under support, we've got resources, customer support, a transfer tax calculator, and maybe we'll do that on the live site and then sign out. But let's get to the fun here of how to submit documents for reporting. Documents are submitted in a group, and there may be one or multiple documents in a group. They have to go to the same county, but they don't have to be related. So as an example, you might have 6 releases that need to go to Adams County. You could submit all of those in one group. It is important to submit them in the correct order that they should be recorded. And it's important that if you have multiple documents that need to be submitted, that need to be recorded, that you submit them in the right order, and that maybe consider keeping them all together. Here's an example. If you had a deed, a declaration of value, and a groundwater, and a mortgage, it's my opinion that you should submit those 4 documents in one group, or wait till the deed group has been recorded before submitting the mortgage, because potentially you could submit the deed group and one of those documents could be declined, or there could be a fee change, and the mortgage is recorded, and now you have recorded a mortgage on a property that someone does not have, they don't own it yet. So it's important to get those in the right order. We encourage submitters to keep a group size to about 10 documents. So if you've got 12, it's not necessary to create a new group. But if you have 25, break it up a little bit if possible. It makes it really easier for the county to process those documents. So don't do 25 releases in one group, do 10 or 12. And then if all of those documents, those hypothetical 25 documents, do need to be recorded together, do need to be recorded in a specific order, then it's okay. So use good judgment. Let us know if you have questions. I think our team is really reactive as far as answering questions and getting back to people. And we do want this to be a good experience because we like e-submission. We think it's a good function. So documents are submitted in a group. It's sort of like putting them in a pile and a folder or an envelope to get them to the recorder's office. So let's get started with the submission process. First step, if you're a new submitter, first thing you're going to do is make sure you've entered your payment information. You're going to select new submission, select the county that you want to submit to, and then name the group. Name is anything that will help you find it later when you are looking for it for any reason. It might be a client name, it might be a file number, it might be an address, whatever works best for you, so that you can properly charge the correct account in the future. So I've got a DARE, today's date, and I put A behind it and then save. Next step, start adding documents to the group. I'm going to add a deed on a conveyance document, a deed, a warranty deed, a quitclaim deed, a contract, or an affidavit of transfer. This number here of auditor transfer fee, auditor transfers automatically defaults to 1. You can enter any number here that you like, knowing that the maximum you will ever be charged is for $10 or $50 because that's the maximum allowed by Iowa law. You're going to enter the real estate value. It should match whatever's on the declaration of value. We're going to enter $85,000. When I select save here in a minute, you're going to see all these fees calculate over here. Next, browse for the image. Documents should be scanned in black and white, portrait orientation, and 300 DPI, just so that using those standards ensures that everybody gets a good quality recorded document. And then you're going to select save when you've got the image attached. So once I select save, what you're going to see is fees calculate over here and a field pop up for me to enter the party names. So there's the fees. I'm going to get out of there. Where'd those fees go? There's the fees. Excuse me. So $7, it's a 1-page document that was attached, the auditor fee, the transfer tax on the $85,000, and the $3 e-submission fee. And then I'm going to add the party name here. Can be, you only have, you only can enter one party name, grantor or grantee, person or business, reminding you that the county does index all the parties on the document. So we're going to do an organization and it will be the Bank of Northwest Iowa, and then save. Okay, so that one's also all added to the group, but it's not ready to submit. There's a couple warnings here. One, that this group requires a declaration of value and that it requires the groundwater hazard. So I'm going to go ahead and add those. So I'm going to go up here to add document and add the declaration of value and browse for that. These are test documents, so I'm grabbing whatever pops up here and then save. So what you notice here is a couple things. One, there's no fees for DOV to be submitted. And because I have that attribute checked, I didn't have to enter the party name again. It's already down here, but I can edit it if I want to. So that something different, okay? And then it's still telling me I need the groundwater, so I'm going to go ahead and add that. And the system would not allow me to submit this until I had added those documents. Again, no fees here, didn't have to enter the party name. And then we're going to do a couple more documents. We're going to add the mortgage like I talked about in that group. And you'll see the fees calculate after I add this one. Save. So got those fees calculated, the $7 for the one page. This standard fee is based on the number of pages in the PDF that you added here, and then $10 because of the $3 e-submission fee. Then one more, I add a power of attorney. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want you to, this is a big document, so you can see that it was 47 pages, so it did calculate the $237, and the service fee is still $3. Okay, so now we're going to do review group. There's all the documents in your group. So you've got the deed, the declaration of value, the groundwater, the mortgage, and the power of attorney. But these aren't in right order. The power of attorney should be first. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to left click on the submission number of the power of attorney, and you're going to move it right up here to where you want it to go. I'm also going to move the groundwater right behind the deed. Doesn't matter, but it just so I can show you, because I think this is really fun that you can just drag and drop them wherever they want to be. Okay. You can still change the county. So you wanted to submit this to Adams instead of Adair, you can do that. And so right there, it says Adams. I'm going to change it back to Adair. That's the county we use most for our testing processes. Okay, so that's all good. So it's got the name of the group, the county, that I'm the submitter, that it's in progress. In progress means it has not been submitted, okay? And the submit group button is active. If I decided that I didn't want to submit this at all, I could click this trash can. That would delete the entire group. I can delete any of the documents that are in this group. And so I'm going to go ahead and select submit group. And while that works, their group has been submitted successfully. That's the only message that you receive that it has been submitted. You can find it by going up here to eSearch and do search by county, Adair, submission date, and then today's date. And you do have to enter both a start and end date. And then search. And there's that group. It looks like it's kind of working through the submission process. So it's in stamp preview created, which is a process it goes, a status it goes through before it gets to ready for recorder. I like this function because you can track, and now it's updated to ready for recorder. You can track the status of your group. So ready for recorder indicates the county has been notified that the docs are out there for their review. Policy is they should review within 24 hours and 1 business day, and either return a recorded document to you or return it to you for correction or fee change. Okay. So anybody have questions? We're going to go through more submissions here, but anyone have specific questions about something for your organization that you want to know about for submitting? Because I really do want to help you. Okay. So next we're going to go back to home, submit a new group also to Adair. Group names can be anything that you want, but they must be unique. And so remember that first group I did was I think it was exactly this. That's my goal. Oh, no. Okay, I must have had a dash in there. So if it was a group name that was used previously, it would have told me that it could not be used again. Let's add a couple more documents here. So let's do a deed that's in fulfillment of a contract. So at the time that the contract was
Lisa, before you go on to that, we had a question in the comments asking if you can expand on the fee calculations. Specifically,
yes.
service fee is flat $3 per group. Standard fee is $7 per page.
Any? Recording fees in Iowa are $7 for the first page, $5 for each additional page. Okay, that's what it is currently. There's legislation to potentially change that in 2026, but that's where it stands right now. See, the e-submission fee is $3 per document in addition to the recording fees on all docs except for the groundwater and the DOV. There's no recording fees, so there are also no e-submission fees. Penny, does that answer your question? Okay, one caveat to the $3 fee. If you use a credit card for payment, there is an additional fee. It's a merchant processing fee. It's just under 2% of the total charges, but it's not charged on the $3 fee. If that's something that you're going to be interested in using as a credit card for payment, we're happy to walk through that with you. We can help you calculate those at any time if you have a larger value real estate transfer tax or something like that. You may consider switching to a bank account if you have a large transfer tax, simply because the credit card charges can be very, very large. So, okay, let's keep going. Thank you for the question. Deed and fulfillment of the contract. So you have the contract that was recorded, and with that document, you would have recorded the declaration of value and the groundwater, okay? So you saw in the previous submission that the system was not going to let me submit without the DOV and the groundwater, right? Because it's a conveyance document. The system is looking for those. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to select the document type, either deed or warranty deed. Defaults to 1 for the number of transfers. You're going to enter the real estate value here. $98,000, that's what you're paying tax on. You're going to select the DOV and the groundwater exemption, okay? And now you're going to find the document. And remember, these are test documents, so I'm grabbing something. And then save. And then all the fees are calculated over here. Standard fee, transfer tax on the $98,000, $3 e-submission fee, and then the one party name, and then save. And look, no warning telling us that we have to submit the DOV and the groundwater. Similar situation. I'm going to add another deed. You may remember that a law changed a couple years ago that said if there are no positive conditions, the groundwater does not have to be submitted with a conveyance document, okay? So in that case, our system is still saying, hey, this is a conveyance document. I'm looking for the groundwater and the DOV. And even though you've got the exemption included on the document, the system is not reading the document. It's counting the number of pages, but it's not reading the text, okay? So you're going to do the deed. You're going to enter the value. You're going to select the groundwater exemption. You're going to find the image. Select save. There's all your fees. And then it is telling you that you need the DOV. So then you're going to add that. And save it. And everything looks good. If you have any special messages, you can write those to the recorder here. If it's something really important, I think it's in your best interest to grab the phone and call the recorder. Also, should you ever make an error and submit something too soon to the wrong county, any error situation where you need the recording to be stopped, please call the county. Call the county. In the larger counties, Polk, Lynn, Scott, Blackhawk, the larger counties. Ask who's working on e-submissions, ask to speak to them, ask them to decline the group. Please don't call our office because we could be busy or in a meeting, and that document could be recorded and there is almost no way to return that, okay? So if you make a mistake, I hope you'll please call the county and ask them to decline the document for you. Okay? So everything looks good. It's ready to go. You can still change the county. You can delete a document. I'm going to go ahead and delete this one just so you see what it looks like. You select delete. Are you sure? Yes. Okay. It takes a second and then it will tell you that it was deleted successfully. And then I'm going to submit the group. Okay. What else did somebody want to see submitted? Janelle, if you're here, mortgages, satisfactions, modification, okay. So general submission, I think we've covered that. Let's work through what happens when a document is recorded and when a document is declined. If a document is recorded, you're going to receive an email from Iowa Land Records telling you that it was recorded, and you're going to log in here and go to eSearch and then recently reported and search. And there's your recorded documents. So we've been doing some testing in Marshall County, and just click on the submission number and review the document. Here's the recorded image. And so then you would be able to grab that for your records with the recording stamp. And it's not, this is a test document, so it's not going to have a stamp over the text of the document, but you can download that to your system. Okay, so you receive an email telling you that it was recorded, and you're able to log in and grab it by going to recently recorded. You could certainly go to the county by county name if you wanted to, and recorded date. And I noticed that that one said 6/27. So we're going to do that. Recorded date. And then search. And there's that same document. And I'll open that image so you can see it. There you go. Okay. So easy peasy, right? If you don't back up regularly, 3 or 4 times a year, we archive all the images in eSubmission. So you would not be able to get that recorded document. If you missed it, you wouldn't be able to get it in eSearch. But remember, the county transferred us all of their recorded documents to us. So then you'd be able to find it on the search site. Okay, so it's, you can't get it in eSubmission. You can also always get it in search. So that's a recorded document. If you're using a credit card for payment, you would see a charge on your account for each document recorded. If you're using ACH, you would see a batch charge for everything recorded on a one day. Okay, so if you had 10 documents and they added up to $757.37, that's the charge you're going to see on your bank account for all of those documents. But there's a settlement report where you can pull that for reconciliation. Okay, also know that if you have if you're using a credit card, the charges hit almost immediately. Just like if you went into Hy-Vee and used your card, you're going to see that on your card, your debit or credit card, almost immediately. For ACH, it takes 1 or 2 days for that to hit. As an example, I helped someone today with a credit card, with a bank account question, questioning some charges, and what hit their account today was the documents that were recorded on Friday. So if you're using ACH, it does take about 1.5 days or 2 days to catch up. Okay, so best case scenario, document recorded, received the email that it was recorded. You go to recently recorded under eSearch, and you're going to get those images. Okay, what happens if you submit something and it's declined? You send it over to the recorder, they take a look, and they find a problem. A notary stamp was missed. You ask to have it declined. The image isn't good. The legal is incorrect. You submitted it to the wrong county. Any number of reasons. The recorder will decline those, okay? You're going to receive an email telling you that it was declined. And if you have multiple documents in a group and each one is declined, you're going to receive multiple emails. And it will include why it was declined and what you need to correct it, okay? What you're going to do, you're going to log in, you're going to find the group that was declined, click on the group name, Then you've got 2 documents that were declined and 1 that was approved. It was only approved, it was not reported. Don't worry, it wasn't reported in the wrong order because it's all together in this group. You're going to click on the submission number and scroll down to history. And what they said is, please scan in black and white and 300 DPI, okay? So you haven't been charged because it hasn't been reported. You're always charged at the time of reporting, not at the time of submission. You're going to come up here to edit and then browse for this newly scanned document, black and white, portrait orientation, 300 DPI, put it in and save. And the status on that one updates to resubmission. And this is the group I'm working on. I know this because there's the lock here and submit group is not active. And the reason it's not active is this group is still in decline status. So you're going to repeat the process, click the submission number, determine why it was declined down here. That information is also included in the email that you received. The notary stamp is missing. You make that correction. You select edit. You find the new image. And you select save. And now everything is good to go. This one is approved, so you don't have to do anything. I'm going to take a quick second to talk about these 2 document types. Affidavit of non-transfer is a statement of fact, okay? Couple examples. I live in a townhouse. When a townhome is sold in our association, you have to get a document from the association that says that all the dues are current, that you don't owe the association money. That's one. It also could be an affidavit of identity. My name is Lisa. I live here. And those terrible stories in the paper are not about me, okay? Affidavit of transfer, it's conveying property from one owner to another. And you know that because here's the transfer fee right here. These are often seen in an affidavit of surviving spouse. A and B owned the property. One of them has passed away and the property is being transferred through this affidavit to the survivor, okay? So those are the differences there. Everything looks good. They're all in resubmission. This one has been approved and it's okay here to submit the group to the recorder. So a couple more. Here's a fee change. You submit something to the recorder and they come back and they say, hey, the money that you entered here is incorrect. Okay. So you can do a couple things. If you're going to receive an email telling you that the fees are off and what changed. If you're comfortable with what is in the email, all you have to do is click here and it'll go into resubmission. Okay. But if you want to take a look at it, just like with the decline document, you're going to hit the submission number, scroll down, and you're going to see that the fees changed from 17 to 10. Okay, how did they get it from 17 to 10? The county removed the number of additional transactions, okay? In general, I would tell you to never use the number of additional transactions field, okay? Every document assumes 1 transaction. If there are multiple transactions, then an additional transaction can be assessed. So examples would be you're signing more than 1 piece of property or more than 1 contract. That's where the additional transactions come in. It also might be if you are releasing 2 mortgages on 1 document. So you have a first and a second mortgage, you win the lottery, great Aunt Tilly leaves you a whole bunch of money. You go into the bank and pay both of those mortgages off. Instead of submitting 2 documents, each releasing 1 mortgage, the bank can combine those on 1 document. And that's where an additional transaction could be used. It is not when you have additional documents within a group. So what I have seen is someone creates this group and they put an assignment for the first document, and then they put 2 additional transactions on the first document because they're going to submit 2 more documents. So it's not that. So in general, don't use the number of additional transactions field, okay? So this one, quit claim deed, back to click the submission number. You can see the fees changed by $5. So they added another auditor transfer field. They were adding 1 more parcel. If you're good with that, you're going to select fee change, and then remember, submit group is always the last step, okay? Questions about declined or fee change documents? Questions about anything in the submission process? Okay, one more group here. Webinar, this one's in progress, so it hasn't been submitted. Think of anything in the pending groups screen when you log in as your to-do list. So this one needs some attention. So you're gonna click the group name, and we've got the deed, the power of attorney, and it's telling us it needs the declaration of value and the groundwater. But we know it's a deed in fulfillment of contract. So we're gonna click here and then scroll down to edit and select these exemption boxes. And I'm gonna make it be 750,000 and then save. So anytime you edit, it's gonna recalculate the number of pages for the standard fee, the auditor fee based on the number of parcels entered here, the transfer tax calculated on the real estate value here, and the service fee right here. And okay, and then last step, submit the group, and you can do that up at the top or here at the bottom. Everybody good with that on the submission process? What else do you want to know? Okay, I'm going to switch to search now for maybe 5 or 6 minutes, and then we can certainly come back and answer questions. So I have to wait for my token. I'm logging into our production site, so I can do search with you. I'm going to public search. So if you have search enabled on your username, your screen's going to look just like this. Okay. Got lots of options. You've got name search, reference search, location search, doc type search, county search, advanced search. So let's do doc type first. Okay. So we're going to select Adair County, and we're going to look for all of the mortgages this month, okay? And they have 8. You can update this display. I'm going to refine the search, and I'm going to go to Blackhawk. So they have 205. So it's 21 pages if I'm only displaying 10. So I'm going to change this to 100. So I've got more showing. And over here, I'm going to change this to reference number, because that's how they index, and ascending. Okay, apply. There you go. So now you've got the oldest mortgage recorded in Blackhawk County in July at the top of the list, and you can scroll through these. Okay, and I believe, let's refine the search. We can add another one. Let's add affidavit of transfer and then search. So now we're up to 23 pages, and again, reorder them in whatever way works best for you. Okay, ascending and reference number. Okay, I think you can add up to 5 document types there, but you can only search with one county doing it this way. If you did name search, you're going to search by person name. We're going to use our project manager because he uses his own when he does it. And he has more than any of us do, or more than I do. And I'm going to search for the last 15 years for Phil. He lives in Polk County. So notice that I have his last name Dunche, first name Phil. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to search, and we're going to get 9 results. Okay, I'm going to refine this search now, and I'm going to add a wild card. I'm going to add a star here. So anything that's under his name that starts with Phil is going to pop up now. Okay. You're going to see, I believe, that the number of results increases. See, 13. So a name search has to be exact, or you have to use a wild card. If you ever experience problems, I hope that you will call us and let us know and let us help you. So another thing that he has talked about when he does a search webinar is if you look over here under his name, you can see that it's Philip with one L, but sometimes people have spelled it with two L's. Megan, thank you for your kind words as I'm looking at the chat. We're really happy that you were able to join us. Okay. Reference search. This can get tricky. You've got a document number in a specific county and you can't find it. You've entered it every which way. You've entered book and number, you've entered reference number, and you simply can't find it. But you know it was recorded in 2021. So here's what I would tell you to do. I would go to county search, and we're going to use Audubon and custom date range. And you're going to search for a few days, up to a week, maybe a month in that county, and then search. Okay. What you're going to learn is they search by reference number. So while you may think it's 2021 for the book number in page 0015, it's actually a reference number of 210015. So now you can go back here with that reference number that you've got. Select Audubon and put in the reference number and search, and there it is. Sorry, I'm losing my voice here. This system is good and it's fast. Are there some little idiosyncrasies that you have to learn? Yeah, but you know what else? Our team is here and we're really happy to help you. Once you get this document index information displayed, look at all the information it shows you. All the parties are indexed here. Remember, in e-submission, you only had to enter one party name. Excuse me. And I said that the county would index all the names. There they are. Also, you've got the recording date, you've got the instrument number, and you have all of the legal here. If you click on this right here, this first icon, it shows the index data. So you've got all the grantors and the grantee. You have associated documents, which is really cool. And I'll show you how to use that. We'll go back. But you know there's a deed. And you have all of the legal information. Okay, I'm going to go back because you can click here on this PDF icon and it opens the image. So you've got that right there. Okay, cool. Let's do this one here. This is the associated documents that are available to go with this. So click here. It brings you here, excuse me, that tells you that there's a warranty deed that goes with this document. So if I click on here, I'm going to get the index information for the warranty deed. And then if I click on the PDF icon for the deed, come on, I can see that. So you can see everything that's related to it. Okay, really cool. We had a lot of fun putting this together. And then we're going to go back because I want to talk to you real quickly about this. If you wanted to report an issue with a document, so you're viewing images, you find something with personally identifiable information on it. So all documents that are recorded and transferred to Iowa Land Records go through a redaction process to look for PII, or personally identifiable information, before they become public. PII is a driver's license number, a credit card number, a bank account number. Those are some examples, okay? But if you were to find one of those in a document and you wanted to let us know, because the terms of use say that you should and you must, all you have to do is click on this little icon here, this little, what's it say, report issue. brings up a new field, and you enter the information. And then it goes into a queue for us to review and either say, yep, that's valid, and send it to our redaction vendor. And it immediately also would remove it from public view, okay? All right, what other questions does everybody have about search? So we've done name search, reference search, document type search. Let's do county search. We'll do Clay County last week. So Clay County recorded 56 documents last week. I'm going to expand this. And I'm going to do it I'm going to change this to book and page, ascending, and apply. So there's everything that they recorded last week if you wanted to take a look at everything in the correct order. Just make sure everything's out there. Maybe you're looking for something specific. You know it was recorded last week, but you're not really sure what the name is, and maybe you're not really sure what you're looking for, okay? So that's a good way to do that. I think abstractors use that a lot. We talked about this. Let's do location search. This is a little bit trickier. Trying to think how to display this to you. Search by count error. Let's see what happens here. So this is everything that was recorded in Adair County with the name of the city as Adair in it, okay? I'm not as adept at doing this as I would like to be, especially when I'm showing you an example. But if you call me with questions, I'm always ready to dig in and help, okay? And we're going to use I'm going to try to do the advanced search here. And oh, why did that pop up? Weird. Okay, that's not working for me. Hold on. I don't know why. Okay. And still, we're getting the same thing. So I apologize that I wasn't as adept at that as I would like to be. If we take this, and go to advanced, to lot 2, block 21, Adair. There, it does bring it up by using that legal description. So I apologize that I wasn't as adept as I would like to be during this e-submission, but I promise if you call for help, we'll do a much better job. All
Hey,
right, we have
Lisa,
yes.
this is Corey. Just a quick comment. For users searching those fields, the wildcard also works on fields like subdivision, anything that's a text label, so you don't have to get the entire string right. This subdivision, you could type in like Gettlers with an asterisk after it to get that to pop up. Just a quick comment there.
Let's see what happens. Um, There, it did work. Thanks, Corey. Okay, 10 minutes left. I am here at least 10 more minutes or longer, whatever you may need, so that you feel confident about e-submission and search. What can we demo? What questions can we answer? Kristen or Corey, could one of you put our phone number and email in the chat pod? We'll follow up with a recording of this webinar to all of you, probably tomorrow morning after we do a quick edit to clean up all the oops. And then you'll have that. If we go to here, we can go to resources. What do we've got? We've got some training materials out there. PDFs, guides. We should update that. Frequently asked questions. Our address. Penny, thank you so much. I hope you guys will call on us if you need help. Searching, submitting the county recorders. We have all of their names and pictures out here. Julie Haggerty from Polk County, Stacy from Story County, and then you can find your county recorder here. So let's go to Franklin. We actually don't have a picture of Heather. She's a newer recorder, so we don't have hers. Here's Travis, the recorder in Grundy County, and Amy, the recorder in Floyd County. Diane from Emmett. So we've got most of them out there, but we have contact information for all of them, their phone numbers, their office hours. So we've got all that information. We have industry professionals. If you have something you want, how we help you, how Iowa Land Records works, resources, about us, policies and procedures, meeting notices. So all the agendas, the summaries, the recording is out there. Kristen, where is the annual report posted?
It's under accounting, accountability and reporting.
Okay, so accountability and reporting.
And scroll
We-
down where we have our
Right
our
here.
minutes. Actually that one hasn't been updated yet. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Scroll down to the stakeholder reports. It's the very last tab. But
Okay.
yeah, give me 5 minutes and I'll update that button.
okay, so this annual report was released yesterday to the recorders. It's certainly out here for you to view. It's fairly robust. It's got a lot of good information about what we did last year, what we're going to do next year. I would encourage you to read it. Our budgets are out there. We're very transparent. Our system is audited annually by an independent auditor. So you can, the 2024 audit is not out here yet. It will be reviewed at the August meeting of our coordinating committee, and then it will be published. So it's not out there yet, but it's coming, okay? But the report is really good, and I hope you'll take some time to read it. If you have trouble opening, if you let us know, we can pop that in an email to you. So I appreciate all of your time today. I hope that you will continue to use Iowa Land Records and e-submission, that you will be successful, and that you will certainly contact our team if you have any questions. I think our turnaround time on getting back to you is exceptional, and we do want it to be a good experience for you. We know that you're busy and that you've got things to do, and if you ever get me on the phone, I will maybe say to you, we don't have time for this craziness, so let's figure this out. And my thoughts is you got a lot to get done today. So let's figure this out, get this recorded or submitted so the county can review it, and you can move on with your day. Thanks for joining us. Let us know how we can help. If you find something in e-submission that you like or don't like, a big improvement that you see, you're missing records on the search site, or you can't find something, that's what we're here for. Take care. Thanks for joining us. Have a good day.